The ingredients you will need for the broth are 6 cups of Japanese soup stock, 4 teaspoons of soy sauce, and 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. For the soup, you will need 12 ounces of boneless skinless chicken thighs, 2 inches of a carrot, 4 shiitake mushrooms, 4 green onions, 3 cups of cooked rice, 2 large eggs, sesame seeds, and a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Your first step will be to remove any of the excess fat on the chicken. This process is important because you don't want to have chewy or unnecessary parts of the meat in your food. You will then want to cut your chicken into bite-sized cubes that will be easy to manage when trying to eat your soup. Once peeled, you will want to take your 2 inches of carrot and cut it into quarters lengthwise and thinly slice them. Now you want to cut your green onions into thin pieces and put them in a small bowl. We use these as a garnish in the end. Since none of the grocery stores I visited had actual shiitake mushrooms, I had to get dried stuff that came in a package, but it seemed to work out very fine in the end. You will then want to beat 2 eggs in a bowl. This process will help us in the end when we are trying to finish our soup. Once the soup preparation is done, you will now need to make the broth. For this, you're just going to combine your 6 cups of soup stock, your 4 teaspoons of soy sauce, and your teaspoon of kosher salt. You'll notice at the end here, I didn't have 6 cups, so I just added some chicken stock and added some water to make up for the 6 cups. You then need to whisk your broth and you're done. In a large pot, preferably a clay pot, you're going to want to bring your broth to a boil and let it simmer for 3 minutes. Once the water has been boiling for 3 minutes, you'll add the chicken and cook it for 5 minutes in the boiling water. Next, you will add your carrots and cook it for about 4 to 5 minutes until the carrots become tender and easy to eat. Your next step will be to add all the shiitake mushrooms. Once again, you're going to put the top on and let it cook for about a couple minutes. Now that we're almost done, you're going to want to add your egg yolk slowly to the broth. This will add a nice fluffy texture. You'll also add your green onions and your pepper. You will then add your sesame seeds. When plating the dish, scoop a couple ladles of soup onto your bowl of rice. Add some green onions and you're ready to eat. For the tempura batter, you will need 2 cups of flour, 2 cups of ice cold water, and 2 eggs. For the ingredients themselves, you can choose. I decided to use yams, snap peas, and shrimp. For my sweet potato, I peeled it and then I cut it into somewhat thinly slices that would be easy to eat and cook in the fire. For the snap peas, I removed the excess bits on either end of the bean. Since my shrimp wasn't thawed, I had to let it run under cold water for a little bit. For presentation and seasoning in the end, I just cut up some more green onions that we had from yesterday. For the batter, you're going to add your 2 cups of flour, your 2 eggs, your 2 cups of ice cold water. You're then going to want to whisk it until there's no more clumps in the batter itself. For cooking, when your oil is up to temperature, slowly and carefully place the yams or whatever other ingredients you have in the oil. Once you've let it sit, season the tempura with sesame seeds and green onions, dip in soy sauce, and enjoy.